Hey guys, it's Chuck at Timberbend Farms. Hey, coming to you from the high tunnel today. Got a little work to do on the high tunnel. Some of you didn't know we had a high tunnel. If you go back and look at some of our previous videos, we have some that we took during the construction time, and then we've got a couple update videos. It's been kind of a rough summer with the high tunnel. It's our first season, so we're learning a lot. But we got started off on the wrong foot with some bad soil and so actually some bad compost. But I'll go into that in more detail in a future video. But today what we're going to be working on is rainwater catchment. So I've got behind the camera here, and I'll swing around, a 500 gallon black water tank, and we're going to set it up to where we can catch rainwater off of the one side of the high tunnel. I installed a guttering system down the side and left the top poly a little long so that poly could flow right into that gutter. What I didn't realize, and a level would have told me this, but who needs a level? But I'm a little lower on the other end than I am on this end, so I installed the gutter on the hip board, put it the same place all the way down through there. It ended up water ran wrong direction. Imagine that. So I have set about to lower the gutter on this end and get it down a little bit, which meant that my tank was just right at the edge of being too tall for the water to gravity feed from the gutter over into the tank. So I've got a solution for that. We're going to drill a hole in the side and put a bulkhead fitting, I guess it's called, in the side that's a little lower than the top, but just above the overflow drain. I'll explain all that in just a minute and show you what we're going to do. I'll be right back. Okay guys, so what we have here is a bulkhead connector. I got this one at Tractor Supply. It is a 2-inch inside diameter. The hole that we're going to drill is 3 inches. It has a ring on the outside that is back threaded. You take it off, and then there's a hard washer that goes on the outside also. Then this part slips through the inside of the tank through the hole that you drill, and there's a rubber O-ring that's on here that's a little tough to get off, but anyway, it's on here, and that's what seals the tank to the water, or the bulkhead to the tank. I've got a mark on my tank that's the lowest place I'd like to drill, and I've got a 3-inch drill bit that's the same size as the thread for the opening here that'll seal to that O-ring. So I'm going to drill that out, and we'll feed this from the inside and tighten it down. Should go pretty simple. Now, I can't take credit for this, but I just remembered something. I saw on another video that someone else had done where they drilled a hole in these tanks, and these hole saws are pretty aggressive. And if you try to run them forward, they're pretty grabby. So the one I watched, the guy ran the drill backwards, reverse, counterclockwise, and the teeth are still aggressive enough to make the hole through the tank. It's going to make a big mess. It's going to make a big mess either way, but that's what I'm doing. I'm running the drill in reverse, counterclockwise. Yay! All right, I got my piece to come out with the drill. Went through there pretty easily. It's like most of my trash ended up here on the outside with me. Nice little plug. Okay. So then our next step is going to be to get this cap off. Now remember, rubber O-ring still on this piece. Stick it in here like so. Put the hard ring washer here on the outside. And then remember, this is back threaded. All right. All right, I'll get my big channel locks and give that another round or two here in a little while, but it's pretty tight. And since we're not going to be holding water right there at that, or a significant amount of water, it needs to be tight, but it doesn't need to be like stupid tight. Now, to get over to our rain gutter, I've got a pipe laying here on the ground. I'll show you that in a minute. But to connect that up, we have a 2-inch fitting that screws in here. And then a 45 to 45 over to the tank. I'm not going to glue this up today. I want to really make sure that I prove the concept before I go putting glue on it and having to tear it back apart. So I've got to put a stake in the ground for support over where the rain gutter is, and then get my pipe all hooked up. We'll see how it works. Thanks. All right, so that's my rain gutter down the side of the high tunnel. And then it comes down here, and I'm not real happy with what I've got going on here. I've got to figure something out about how to get this into that pipe. It's about a 45-degree angle. I may just need to buy a 45 that'll fit this 4-inch PVC, and that may be what I do. And then I got it reduced down with some odd and end reducers that I found, and then I've got it run over to the tank, and it's got a little bow. My little mechanism I made here to hold this up, it's just a little bit high, so I need to loosen those screws and let it down just a little bit. But the idea is that everything that runs off this side of the high tunnel will come into this rain gutter once I figure out that connection, and then it'll run over here into the tank. And then once it runs into the tank and the tank is full, then it will come out of this overflow down to the ground, and then we've just got it running to this little ditch here behind the high tunnel. Before, all this water was just coming off the high tunnel and landing here and then seeping into the ground, because we had to dig into this area here. So I'm standing about 18 inches above the floor of the high tunnel right now, because we had to dig into that. The ground had a little more slope to it than what we thought it did. And when you start spanning 72 feet, it doesn't take long for the ground to get unlevel without noticing it too much. So got a little work to do on it yet, but without going to Lowe's and getting a 45 for that 4-inch, I'm not sure what else I'm going to do today. But oh, and by the way, some of you may be saying, man, you're using some expensive pipe. And I am. It's some conduit. But we had a electrical company here in town that downsized greatly, had a big auction, and I bought a whole rack of this electrical conduit, the rigid electrical conduit. Some of it's schedule 80. And several pieces of 4-inch, 3-inch, 2-inch, 1.5 inch, all the way down to some 1-inch PVC, and there was some steel conduit in there as well. I paid $90, and my dump trailer, 16-foot long dump trailer, was almost full. And I would say 2 sticks of that 4-inch right now would be double that. So I thought, well, I could sell it and try to get some money for it, but I didn't know if it'd be worth selling or just using it. So I've got it, it's paid for. So some of it I'm just going to use. I may end up selling some of it down the road. So let me flip around here. Like I was saying, I'll probably just use that conduit myself. I got a good deal on it, got a good bit of it, and we're building a house right now, and so some of it'll get used in that build. But what we have left over, if we don't have a use for it here on the farm, which you always have use for PVC pipe, there's always projects and things you can do. So whatever's left, we'll just deal with. But anyway, sounds like the framing crew's headed out today, so I need to go down and get a video of where they are framing wise. Looks like they had a big day today from what I saw earlier. So I think we're up to decking now, decking and membrane. So I'll be on that here just shortly. But thanks for watching. If you got any questions about rainwater catchment, shoot me a message. We're just kind of getting going with this, but we're planning on doing more in the future, and we'll have more videos. This little system I've designed here is kind of crude, but I think it's going to work. And I did hear that the ratio for rainwater is for every 1,000 square feet of roof you have, for every inch of rain, you get 600 gallons. This is a 500-gallon tank, so an inch of rain will more than fill this tank. And then we end up running this tank once or twice a week out for the high tunnel during the summer. We're going to plant some winter stuff in there, and we'll have to run it during the winter also. So hopefully it's going to save us a little on the water bill. We'll see. Anyway, good talking with you guys. If you got any questions, shoot me a message. Also, if you like what we're doing and you want to see more of the same kind of content, hit the like button, subscribe to our channel. We right now have 50 subscribers. Woohoo! That's we're on our way. So, and that's not necessarily the main goal, but we would like to get more subscribers, more people see what we're doing, because we got a lot going on here. We got a barn dominium being built. We got a high tunnel, tractor work. We have our businesses in town, so a lot going on. But anyway, we'll share things as they come up, and hopefully it'll be entertaining to you. But for now, that's all I got. Have a good day. All right, guys, I am back for day 2 of working on this rainwater catchment system for our high tunnel. Yesterday showed you how I had the gutter set up down the side of the high tunnel on the hip board. And I'm going to turn around here in a second and show you what I did today. I took some pieces off. I'd gotten a little overcomplicated on what I had installed initially, and was still having trouble getting my angle right for my flow, the flow that goes from the gutter over to my tank. But I'll flip around here and show you what I ended up doing. This is a much simpler setup. I tested it, poured a little water in the gutter, and it's flowing this way ever so slightly. And I've got a couple little leaks, which isn't a big deal. I don't have anything glued up yet, so we're gonna get all that glued up eventually. But as it would be when you're doing things like this, if you needed it to rain like I do, we don't have any rain in the next, I think, 10 days in our forecast. So now we get to wait. We get to wait a little while and see exactly how much water we can catch, and how much water will actually come out this end. I've got a couple little things that are a little cobbled up, so I've got to do some cleaning up on the end of my gutter and all, but I think this is going to work much better. Let me show you what I got. Down at this end, things pretty much remained the same. You might be able to hear there's a little water still trickling in there from where I tested it. I do have a little leak there underneath that one of those joints, but like I said, I don't have anything glued together yet. And then this is my clamp and support that I made, and kind of quick out of just a couple pieces of scrap wood I had and a few screws. Basically I cut it down the middle to fit over the T of the T-post, and then used some screws to pull that saw cut together to clamp it onto the T-post. Then working our way down, I had that big contraption on here with that 4-inch piece of PVC, and I didn't like that. It was heavy. I didn't like the way it looked, and it didn't drain good because the water would go into that big 4-inch piece here, and then it would stop, and it would have to rise up about a half inch, or about an inch, to get into the 2-inch, then to flow on. So I thought, well, I need to get rid of that, and this is what I come up with. It's just a little piece of door screen that I had, and I got that over the top, and as water comes out of the gutter, it'll get a little bit of filtration there. We don't want a bunch of leaves and junk ending up in our tank. but they'll get a little filtration there. And then I actually cut this 2-inch female to female 90-degree elbow. I actually cut about half the flange off up here, so this would actually set lower, so I could raise the pipe higher and get a better angle to the tank. I wish I had set that tank just a touch lower. It would have made all the difference in the world, but that's what we've been fighting, is this angle here. So I brought the 4-foot level and put on it, and it is just a touch downhill, but it does run. So that's all that matters. Now all we need is a good hard rain, and we can see what's going to happen here. Our high tunnel our high tunnel watering system basically consists of we have an outlet there. I have a Y fitting where I can either just get water right out of the tank, or it goes through a hose that I have just run through this piece of conduit. And I'll walk you around. We have the drip tape system that came with our high tunnel, and on the inside here, that hose just comes in, feeds a 10 psi regulator, which probably could actually go without that, but it's on there. And then there's a little filter right there that screens anything that's in the tank out. Check it usually about once a week, just make sure there's nothing got caught up in there. And then we have these little on-off valves here at the end of each line that runs. And right now we have 7 lines that run out through the high tunnel to water. And we left our manifold line. It runs all the way down to the other end, and we have it capped off in case we ever need to do anything down there. But here in the next few weeks, we'll be pulling all that out and getting in here. I've got some way down there on the other end of the high tunnel. You can see some cottonseed hull compost that's right at a year old, and I've got a couple trailer loads of it down there that we're going to put some of that in here to try to lighten up this soil a little bit. But anyway, this is where we're at today, and this is our setup for our watering system. And right now it's working pretty well, and I think once we get our rainwater system going, I think it's going to work even better. Thanks for hanging in there with me, guys. This was a tough one, and I appreciate your comments. Like and subscribe our channel. We'd love to hear from you if you have any thoughts or suggestions when it comes to high tunnel, growing vegetables, rainwater catchment, any of those kind of things. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks. Y'all have a great day. By the way, this tractor you see right here belongs to my neighbor. I wouldn't have an orange tractor. Just saying. Have a great day.